Hi everybody, Miss Lorenz here. I'm going to talk really briefly about adding and subtracting decimals. You learned how to do this in elementary school, probably in 5th grade is when you did your adding and subtracting decimals. But because of the crazy year last spring, I want to make sure that we review it. I'll make this more brief than the other videos because I know that you're all pretty proficient already at addition and subtraction, so we're just adding a decimal here. And so the only thing to remember is that when you're adding decimals and subtracting decimals, you have to make sure that you're lining up your places. And to do that, line up your decimals and then make sure that your tenths places line up and that your hundredths places line up. If you do that, you're golden. And that goes for both addition as well as subtraction. Line up your tenths places, line up your hundredths places, and so on. You don't even have to worry about your tens, hundreds, thousands this direction because you can always put some zeros in and you're going to be fine. Making sure that they're lined up here will make sure that they're lined up on the left. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Let's do a couple here. I think I'm just going to do one addition and one subtraction for this video. So you can ignore these two for right now. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you have this out and that you are taking notes in this section, adding and subtracting decimals. What I would suggest you do right now is pause the video, copy these two problems down, write down what I just noted in terms of what to remember, do the problems on your own as you pause, then look back and see if you did them correctly. All right, let's do it. So here we're adding 8 hundredths plus 4 hundredths, which is 12 hundredths. And when we add using the standard algorithm, we just leave the 2 behind. We're taking over the 10, which is really 10 hundredths or a tenth. So now we're adding 1 more tenth plus 1 more tenth plus 2, which is 4 tenths. Now we're going to bring the decimal down so that we do not lose sight of where that decimal is. And now we're just going to add our ones and our hundreds. 8 ones plus 2 ones is 10 ones. And we know that we have to pack those up and bring a 10 over here. So we don't have any extra ones. So now we have an extra 10 to add here. 8 plus 1 is 9. Plus 5 is 14. And so our final answer is 140 and 42 hundredths. Let's do the same with our subtraction. Here we're subtracting 4 hundredths from 7 hundredths, so we're left with 3 hundredths. We're subtracting 8 hundredths from 9 hundredths, so we're left with 8 tenths from 9 tenths, we're left with 1. Again, make sure that you have your decimals lined up, you bring them down, then we just subtract our ones, and, let's make that an 8. And so we don't go into our negatives. And then we are left with 12 and 13 hundredths. All right, I'm going to stop there because I think you guys can do these other 2 problems. Pause right now, make sure you copy them down. Do these as practice. We're not going to do too much practice with adding and subtracting decimals because I know you've done it plenty in the past. This is just kind of a review, so make sure you give yourself a chance to review and then check in with your table partners and make sure that you guys are all on the same page. All right, thanks for listening.